I'm Amy.
And I'm Chris,
Best friends of 30 years.
and we believe A Course in Miracles is the most enlightening,
Albeit slightly difficult,
personal development course we've come across.
we've walked many miles
In several countries,
analyzing and applying the course
we're bringing you our insights,
and challenges
our loves and fears.
as we apply this course to our daily lives
We love its non-denominational and all-inclusive nature,
and want to share how you too can apply these higher principles in a practical
and hopefully more easeful way.
grab a tea
Or a glass of wine,
and settle in for some laughs and truths as we share real life tribulations.
and how we shift them into miracles. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to One Simple Truth. It's Chris.
And Amy,
And I feel like we're getting in a rhythm. I'm like, and another special guest, which we just love having people on from different walks of life and different areas. So today, so excited to welcome Coach Tony Schifano. Welcome, Tony.
Thank you. So happy to be here.
Oh, we're so happy to have you. And so Tony is a baseball coach at assistant coach at Cal Fullerton, right? Am I saying that right?
Cal State Fullerton.
Cal State Fullerton. Okay, so for our friends in Canada and other parts of the world, that University of California, Fullerton.
No, so
Oh,
so
ah,
we have the University of California system, so that's like the UCs,
okay.
and then we have the state systems, the Cal States. So I'm Cal State.
Oh, Cal State. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, I always get that mixed
So
up. Okay,
San
thanks for
Francisco is actually
clarifying.
a Cal State. San Francisco
Yes,
State.
right. Okay, okay. And this is how I know Tony is we had the privilege for you to coach our son last year in San Francisco. And it's gonna make me tear up. We just loved you so much, and you were just such an amazing example for the boys and the parents. And just of, I know before we hit record, we were talking about showing up. So I'm excited to get into that. But you are such an example of that. And yeah, it was just such a privilege for you to coach the boys. And it was Jude's first experience in university. And and you and I just developed a connection, I think, with, us contributing to the raffle and had a couple calls and just kept in touch. Unfortunately, the program is no more, but it was, I guess, a blessing in disguise. And you have landed back in Southern California.
Sure have. Yeah. Yeah. This is where I grew up. I grew up here in Orange County. Wonderful opportunity to be near my family and friends I grew up with.
Oh, that's
Mhm.
awesome. And I think it was one of the episodes that we had someone on and we were talking about how a mom was saging the bases or running around the bases, saging the field in Little League. And I sent that to you, and then I'm like, you should come on as a guest. So
Great segue.
this is
Absolutely.
where spirituality and sports merge, right?
Oh,
Like
without a doubt. Yeah.
anything goes.
I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Bull Durham, but there's a famous scene in the beginning. She talks about mirroring or marrying. I think it's Christianity or religion with baseball, and there's just the spirits of it are amazing together.
Really? Well, it's
Yeah.
actually
oh my
it's an
gosh.
interesting sort of marriage or merger, really,
Yeah.
because it's like the physical has to be so exact and so precise and almost sometimes like miraculous. And so when you're thinking about it,
Yeah.
it's like a way of like the spiritual stuff and the physical, like showing up together. I don't know. When I'm watching
You're,
other people play, I feel
you're
that.
you're absolutely right. There's these moments in the game and the moments in life. It's just like, I know Toronto's in the World Series, so Chris,
I was just
you guys
thinking,
must
yeah,
both be really
right?
excited. Uh,
Yes.
but they're playing the Dodgers, and I don't know if you remember exactly a year ago, the game one of the World Series, that home run that Freddie Freeman hit. I don't know if you
Mm.
guys remember this with the Dodgers, but it was just a miracle, a moment in baseball. And so here we are a year later. The Dodgers are now playing in Toronto. Toronto was in last place this time last year, and
Yeah.
that's how quickly things can turn around.
Isn't
Yeah.
that crazy?
It's
Yeah.
a it's a neat
Oh,
medium for these things. And that's
Yeah,
something that everyone can relate to, like on a level, right? On some level.
absolutely.
yeah, so many things with that. So what has been your experience as a coach? And I would just want to say you're so humble, but you won Coach of the Year last year, right? Such a
Yeah.
an honor. So how do you merge these two with coaching and showing up?
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, well, I'll just go back to the Coach of the Year moment. It was actually a really special moment. We were we were traveling to the playoffs down in LA, as I'm sure you remember, and we always had the same stop every year. I don't want to say I get superstitious, but I like routine. I like structure. And if something's working, I kind of stick to it. But so we always had the same stop along Interstate 5. And we had we lost the year before in the playoffs in the championship game. So I told my coaching staff, we're going to go eat at a different restaurant on this stop to kind of bring some,
And sage the bases, by the way. But
exactly. So we walked across the highway basically, and we end up in this little hole in the wall Mexican spot. Just amazing food. And I'm in line, and I have my AirPods in or something. I don't know. And I hear and there was like six guys, and Jude might have been one of those guys, honestly, if I think about it, in a booth. They had already ordered, and they're going nuts. I mean, they're the joy, and I look over, I could just hear it and feel it. And all the awards were coming out and they were being announced online for like, who got the catcher of the year, the first baseman of the year. And the last award was coach of the year. And I mean, I did not expect it because as you know, Chris, we lost on the final day to Monterey Bay. And I figured the Monterey Bay would, he got first place, he would get coach of the year. And the boys came running over and like just like not dogpiled me, but we're like
oh,
genuinely so happy. And I started like, I'm like, what's going on, guys? And they're like, you won Coach of the Year. And it was a moment of like, they really couldn't understand how, how important that was in the sense of where the program was 10 years ago when I took it over
Mm.
and what it took to get to that moment in life. And so, long story short, that's how I found out I won. It wasn't like, somebody called me or anything. It was the best way to find out from my play
yeah.
and
Oh,
their true joy for it. And because, as coaches, we pour our hearts and soul into these young men. So that was how the coach of the year thing came. So that's not even, as important as anything here, but the power of,
no, it is. It is. Yeah.
yeah,
Makes me tear up and I can
I
feel the
know.
joy,
I
right?
know.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah. I
Very
mean,
emotional.
I'm actually speaking tonight to my team.
Ah,
We do Thursday night culture building dinners, and we empower our young men on the team to be leaders. And so they usually speak at these events, these nights. We have dinner together as a team at the stadium at Cal State Fullerton. Tonight, the head coach asked me to speak to the guys about mental toughness and developing the mental side of the game as opposed to the
Mm.
physical side of the game. So last night I was up late preparing that presentation, and it took me down a couple roads. And one was my second year at San Francisco State 8 years ago. Um, I left a job at UC Davis that was a fantastic job. I was the associate head coach. We'd come off a great winning season. Um, I played at UC Davis. It's a second home to me. But I wanted a new challenge. I wanted to be a head coach. I wanted to be the leader of a team. And everybody thought I was crazy to go to San Francisco State. They hadn't won in 30 years.
Ooh.
The resources were next to nothing. The field was in horrible shape. They had no recruiting budget. It was pretty bad situation. It was pretty dire. But I looked at it as an opportunity. This thing can only go up with hard work and perseverance and love and everything you dive into a program or you put into a program. So, but in year two, it hit rock bottom when I was there. And I'm going to share it with the boys tonight because they always think everything's perfect, right? They always think that everything's great on the outside, but we were getting beat on the field pretty bad early in the season, my second year. If you read the internet and the Instagram posts and all those things, people said, "Oh, it's not working out for Coach Schifano in San Francisco State and the way he's doing it." And we roll into Chico State, and they're number one in the region, and we absolutely get blasted for three games. Go to sleep that Saturday night. We have one more game on Sunday. I put a curfew on the team. What do a few of the young men decide to do? Break curfew and go out. And one of them gets arrested.
Oh,
Yeah. So I woke up Sunday morning to we're in last place. There's nothing's going right in the program, it feels like. And I have a player in jail in Butte County Jail. And I make a call to the Butte County office, like you can't come get him till like 3 in the afternoon. So we have to go play the game. We get blasted. We pick up my player at the Butte County Jail, and I said to myself, this could be the lowest point in my coaching career, in my life, honestly, at that point. Program is not doing what I thought it would do. I'm picking up a young player that made a bad decision. Not a bad kid, just a bad decision. And I'm probably going to get fired. Yeah. And so I made a decision on that drive home. I did a lot of thinking. I talked to my family quite a bit. And my dad reminded me of the tough times when I was younger and the power of showing up. You just keep going. You just keep showing up and you keep doing the right thing. And eventually you will push through. And instead of leaving that young man, I could have easily cut that kid, right? Cut ties. You're gone. I used it as a learning experience for him. I did suspend him for a little bit, but we met weekly and we tried to figure out why he made that decision to do what he did. And I started seeing a little improvement with the program. Season ends, I make a huge commitment to just keep going mindset, keep showing up for my boys, keep showing up for the program. That next year, the third year, no one could have ever guessed. The final game of the season, game 50 in the third year, we are playing to go to the conference playoffs for the first time in 30 years. And it came down to that game, whoever won that game versus Sonoma. And we dogpiled on the mound. We won that game. And I'm getting chills thinking about it. But, and that takes me back to the Coach of the Year moment when those kids in the Mexican restaurant, they have no idea 7 years prior where the program was. And they probably think, oh, we've been to the playoffs the last 5 years. It just must happen every year. But and so I don't know if I could go back to the genesis of showing up, where that started with my.
Okay. We would love to hear that. Yeah.
So I was not I was a very small kid in high school. I had talent, but I wasn't strong enough to be a starter. I sat the bench in high school. I ended up going to UC Davis. There was no scholarships, and it was a Division II program at the time. So it was all tryouts. I show up the first day to tryouts. There's 100 players in the stands, literally 100 players. And I was the smallest of the 100. And I called my dad back in the day, and so that was 1992, no cell phones. I think phones were like this. Yeah. And I go, Dad, there's 100 kids at the tryout. They're never going to notice me. There's no way. And this is where my dad goes, son, you just keep showing up until they tell you you're not good enough anymore. You just keep showing up to the practice, the tryouts. So every day you would practice for 3 hours. In Davis, everybody rides bikes. You ride your bike down to the field. You show up, you practice. Every Friday, there was a cut list of 10 kids.
Oh, wow.
So you roll your bike in to the field on a Friday afternoon, after class, look at the cut list. If you're on it, you go home. If you're not on it, you practice. You get another week. So it went from 100 to 90 to 80 to 70. And I kept I just kept showing up and kept going. And before I knew it, it got down to 40 kids and I made the team. But the coach called me in and said, "Hey, you're not ready physically. You need to, you need to focus on your academics, get stronger. We're going to redshirt you. You're not playing this year." Fantastic. Best decision that was ever made by a coach for me. And eventually, I won't go into my whole career, but yeah, I developed. I ran into this thing called the weight room. Got bigger, stronger, faster. It was right next to the library, so it was really tough to find at times. But anyways, and things turned out pretty well at UC Davis, and I ended up having a 10-year professional career after UC Davis. However, during my career, this is a story I tell that young kids need to know the moral of this story about power showing up, and you never know who's watching in life. So after my third year at UC Davis, so my redshirt sophomore season, we went to the College World Series.
Wow.
Yeah, it was an amazing season. We lost, fly home, take finals at Davis, and then I'm like packing my Acura Integra because I'm about to go down Interstate 5 and I'm going to be in Orange County in 6 hours and have my 2 month summer. I love the beach. I love the ocean. Couldn't wait. And I get a call from my coach. "Hey, come by the office real quick." So I show up at the office. I'm like, "What's up, coach?" And he's like, "What are you doing this summer?" I'm like, "Well, the car's packed. I'll be in Orange County. I'll be in Newport Beach tomorrow afternoon." And he's like, "Change of plans. You're gonna play summer ball in a little town called Lodi." And I didn't know where Lodi was. It was this little farm town, 45 minutes from Davis. He goes, "You're gonna play. We think you have a chance to play at the next level, and you need to play against better competition all summer, and that'll prepare you next year for the draft, your junior year." So, okay. Disappointing at the time because I wanted, see my family, go home, but right into summer ball, as you know, Chris, with Jude and everything, all those things that he's going to have to be doing here moving forward. But I started every day making that drive to Lodi. And it was a 6 o'clock game every night. I had teammates that lived 5 minutes from Lodi that wouldn't show up to games.
Oh, wow.
Summer ball. There was no rules or anything. I was raised, you're on a team, you show up, you play.
Right.
So the coach's name was John Nealmeyer. And he was this older gentleman who was a math teacher in town that coached the summer team. That's how I knew John. Great guy, great personality, bubbly, positive. Had a great summer, showed up to every game. Had teammates that showed up to half the games. Season ends. We have about 2 weeks left in the summer. So I packed my car, drove to the final game, played, and said, "Coach, I'm going to go home. I got 2 weeks in Orange County." And he said, "Hey, Tony, before you leave, I just want to say thank you for the summer. It meant everything to me that you showed up every game. I knew I could write your name in the lineup and I could count on you. And one day I think you're going to be a coach and you're going to understand the power of accountability and people that you can trust and things of that nature." And to me, as a young kid, I'm 20 years old at the time, like, "Oh, of course, thank you for the opportunity to play." Like I said to him, I made a joke. I said something like, just come to one of my games next year. That would be, gratitude enough for me that you come watch me play at UC Davis my junior year. He said, "Absolutely, I'll come watch you play, Tony." So every game my junior year, I looked in the stands and never saw John. And this is pre-cell phone, right? It's not like I could text him like, "Hey, you come to the game today." Junior year happens. That's usually your draft year in college. I don't get drafted. I'm devastated, but that's life. I'm going to come back for my senior year. Usually seniors don't get drafted. At that time, I just going to play my senior year and go to law school. That was my plan. I started applying for UC Davis Law School, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was the goal. I was a political science major and all that and sociology. And senior year, kind of forgot about John, didn't think anything much of it, moved on in life. I actually, that summer before that senior year is when I played in Stratford, Ontario.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. There we
Yeah, great
go.
summer there. But anyhow, go back senior year. No scouts are talking to me. Nothing's happening. I'm like, this is it. Get to my final game. It's a final Sunday. This is it for me. I'm like in my head, this is my final baseball game. Get to the field. I'm taking my ground balls. I'm throwing across the diamond during batting practice. And I look up and who do I see?
Aw.
John Nealmeyer.
Aw.
And I run over there and I got a little sarcasm in me. I'm like, it took you 2 years to get here, huh? You get lost on the way. But he's like, but he had a gentleman next to him that I didn't recognize. And he goes, Tony, you don't know this, but I've been watching you for the past 2 years. We've been watching you the past 2 years. And he introduced the gentleman named Rich Bordy to me. It was a big, strong, I still remember Rich, this huge guy, just like this presence was incredible. And I said, nice to meet you, Rich. And Rich goes, I'm with the Florida Marlins. I'm the head of scouting on the West Coast, and we're going to offer you a contract after your game today.
Oh, oh my gosh.
And I mean, talk about a moment in life, right?
Mm.
Dad are in the stands. And John turned to me and said, Tony, we've been watching you ever since that summer. You showed us something that summer was showing up every single day. We could put our name on you. I could put my name on you. Now the scouts had to make sure the talent was there. You already had the character and that stuff. And but the power's showing up, right? My dad taught me that first day in college. You just keep showing up. You keep going. You never know who's watching. I didn't know John had sent scouts there for 2 years. So anyhow, after the game, we went to a little diner and signed a professional contract. And
Very
next thing
cool.
I knew, 2 weeks later, I'm in Utica, New York, playing professional baseball. And
Oh my
I
gosh.
absolutely took a 180. But
I
yeah,
did not know that story and that
yeah.
you
So that's
even
yeah,
played professional baseball. I had no
yeah.
idea.
Well,
That's incredible.
I was actually a Toronto Blue Jay for 2 years.
What? Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
yeah.
That's
I played
crazy.
Double A with the Blue Jays. Yeah.
Oh
Well,
wow.
anyways, that's enough about me. But the power showing up is something I like to, if I get asked to talk at a high school or something, that I try to give the message to these kids that, and it transcends into life too. Like as a parent, right? The power is showing up, right?
Mhm.
The power of if you're a sibling, or right now I'm experiencing it as not as a stepfather, but my girlfriend has an 8-year-old child, and I see how important it is when I make an effort to try to fly up after practice to make a soccer game on a weekend. Just how
Aw.
she lights up when she sees me walk
Mm.
up to a practice. And so, I know you guys talk a lot about miracles and things of that nature, but in my world, that's sometimes those are the miracles that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking so many things when you were speaking and sharing your story, and it all is connected to what the course says. Like, even just having the willpower, and we get to decide, right? We having that will, and it's like keep showing up, having that will, and you're going to get something back in return. And not that that's even necessarily why you're doing it. Like you said, that was the way you were raised. This is what being a part of a team means. And it's like, but yeah, people were watching and like the universe was watching. It's like,
Yeah,
here we go. Like, love attracts love. Like, you're being your best self, you're putting yourself out there. And all of these opportunities came back, and you weren't even necessarily like expecting it. It was just like, that's what happened because you were stepping into your best self.
absolutely. And it's genuine, and for me, it's always been just about doing the right thing. And
Mm.
and is it always going to work out the way you want it? No, absolutely not. And just for the record, we did not win the championship last year, right? And we lost in the championship game again down in LA. So changing restaurants didn't help with that.
Like, dang it, you chose the wrong restaurant. No.
Yeah.
No,
But
I love this because it's so it just shows how really truly the most important thing in being human is just to try your best and do your best, and
Mhm.
which is the same as what you're saying, show up. Like just show up, be the best person that you can, and as much integrity as you can, as much of all the sort of what does it mean to do unto others, or to be a, just be a good human. And
Yeah.
in the end, you know, really none of this winning or losing really truly matters, but the real moments are the ones you're describing. Like
Mhm.
that's what really life is about, and living your life. And as much as the wins feel great, and the records and the all the stats and the facts, they feel amazing. But when you're, 95, you're
Yeah.
looking back, like these are the things you're going to be like filled with. And
You're right, Amy. Yeah. Like I look at things back in my life that like I'll go back to UC Davis in 95 in 92 when I was redshirted, another young man was redshirted on my team, a freshman named Ryan Green. And little did I know that Ryan Green and I would end up being the closest of friends and I'd be the godfather to his children. You just like moments like that, it's
uh,
amazing how the universe puts you in situations like that. Yeah. Yeah,
and
and
that's
you're
what
right.
I'm
Yeah. Go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say, yeah, that's what I'm feeling the most is like the connection, like all of this has created with other people and
Mhm.
the relationships. And I'm sure, and you gave a speech at one of the banquets about that. And I'm sure even just with the summer ball coach you were sharing, like I'm sure there's still that relationship and that connection. And it's like that's really what it's all about is,
It is. It
yeah,
is. I think
connecting.
I think I think words, especially in our world of baseball and I'll just use the word macho-ness of it, right? Guys are,
Mm.
supposed to be tough and, whatnot. And like what I'm going to speak tonight to the guys about is mental toughness and what toughness really is. And it's toughness is
Mm.
not how hard you throw or how far you hit a baseball, right? It's more your mental discipline and your empathy you have for people and your genuineness and things of that nature. That's true toughness in my opinion. Understanding what breaks you and how
Mm.
can you get through that? In our situations, a lot of times it's nerves, and big situations, playing in front of crowds, big moments. How do you get through that stuff? Or how are you preparing to succeed in those situations in life? And
Mm.
then it trans into like they're 20, 21 years old. They're going to end up being fathers and end up, running businesses or working for people, and that stuff will translate into their lives as well.
I was
So
gonna say, yeah, what are your best tips for that? I think that that's so valuable for all of us and just as humans and also as parents of the kids playing on these teams too,
yeah,
right? There could be a whole book for parents on this.
I'll share the most simplest thing, Chris. I think that the power of controlling your breathing is so
Mm.
strong. When I'm in big moments in a game as a coach and I have to make a big decision or stressful decision, I really find my breath and I inhale, 2, 3 seconds, hold it, and then exhale everything out. And it resets me. And we talk to our players quite a bit about that. In between pitches when you're batting, just to control your breathing because you can. I mean, if you put a video on a young man or maybe even a parent in the stands during stressful situations, you watch for 10, 12 seconds. Sometimes they don't take a breath. There's so much
Mm.
anxiety and they're holding everything in. I think just that release is such a positive step forward. And our freshmen, um, things go really fast for freshmen, especially in the college athletic world, because they're 17 years old. And now they're competing against 21, 22, 23 year olds that have been doing this for a while, that are more physical or are more trained mentally to succeed. And the first thing we teach them is just breathe,
Mm.
just relax, take a deep
Mm.
breath.
Mm.
Everything's going to be okay. You know,
Mm.
Amy, you're right about the wins and losses. Like we all want to win and lose, right? That's the competitive spirit inside us. It drives me. But like I had my 30-year reunion with that World Series team in 1995, most recently, and not one of the conversations in that reunion was about our record or the wins and losses. It was about the bus
Camaraderie.
trips and the yes, things I can't probably say on here, but the experiences we had with each other. Yeah. So
Uh,
yeah.
That's so true. And I love that you shared about the breath. It's like how
Mm.
simple it can be, but how often we forget to do that. And it really does help us. I love that you said reset. And I'm also thinking like reconnect, to whatever our belief system is of that higher power or universe, whatever that is. And it just helps you to be able to, like you said, reset and reconnect to it and then maybe make a different choice and follow a different guidance, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it clears your
Yeah.
mind and clears you, gives you a clear path to making maybe it's the wrong decision, right? I don't know. In baseball, I make the wrong decision on a hit and run, it doesn't work out. Okay. But at least I did it with a clear mind and
Mm,
intention. And you know what? I can live with it. I can live with that. So,
yeah.
but I think also like I mean, obviously you two with your history and your friendship, and it comes through on the screen. Your guys' love and empathy for each other, and I talk about that quite a bit with my players. It's okay to say you love each other. I mean, my career really turned about 5 years ago, to be honest with you, and I've been coaching almost 20 years now, but it really turned 5 years ago when I actually started saying to my players, I love you, and,
Aw.
and players would come back and say, I love you too, coach. And,
Mm,
and that's a wall that you have to break down as a coach,
mhm.
especially, right? In this macho world of sports. So, and then like I look at George Springer, he's a great Blue Jay player, right? And he hit that massive home run 2 nights ago, 3 nights ago.
Oh, that
It was
was
an amazing
huge.
moment, right?
Oh,
Did you see the interview with him after the game?
no, I
They asked
didn't.
him, so tell us about that moment. What are you feeling? What are you grateful for? And his answer was, and I'm going to show the boys tonight. His answer was, I'm grateful for the teammates that the at-bats before me.
Oh,
Unbelievable.
wow.
I mean, that's where his mind went to his teammates and his, and
Oh,
he didn't want the glory. He wanted to put it on his teammates. And,
mm,
it's genuine with him.
yeah.
And they said, you got hit in the knee, what?
Oh,
Right, right.
that was
And
crazy. Yeah.
how did you get through that? And he goes, it doesn't matter. I had to do it, he didn't
Oh,
want to bring all this attention on himself, which was amazing. He's just so humble. I love
yeah,
it.
I was going to say so humble and recognizing that, yeah, that was a massive hit, but it was the hits before that enabled the score to go up like that,
Yeah,
right? And it was a team effort. It really was a
yeah,
team effort. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah,
I love
yeah.
that so much. Oh
Yeah.
my
But I am
gosh.
going to stage the field too. So just so
Yeah.
you know.
You're
Well,
like,
it's
you
super
got to
cool
do
that you
that
can.
now.
I love that you can bring this into the lives of especially these young people. And now I'm feeling
Mhm.
like an old person saying that, but I do feel like there's so much these days that shows, like you said at the very beginning, all of the perfection and how easy life is, how easy it is to, have all these amazing moments in this amazing life. And I think you sharing these particular lessons with everyone today and at your
Mhm.
speeches, but especially with young people, I think it's like so good for them. And so like they will take it through their rest of their lives through with their character, with their, all the permission you're giving about loving
Yeah.
one another and being open with your
Mhm.
love with people and your good character. And I just think that's um at the risk of saying like an old granny, it's more and more important these days to do that.
It
Yeah.
really
So
is. It's so
that's
true.
great.
Well, and Amy has three boys too. So she, yeah, totally gets it, right? From that perspective.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we're
uh,
learning every day, right? I mean, it's
mm,
life. I try to be a life learner. I try to read as much and watch as much stuff I can. Laura, my girlfriend, Chris, you've met, she listens to a lot of podcasts, and she's obviously very excited about your guys' podcast.
We
Um,
love it.
but yeah, I think with that, it just comes openness too, right? And allowing
Mhm.
things to come in, and I tell our players all the time, like I'll take this down to the level of hitting, which is the hardest thing to do in sports, is
Oof.
hit a baseball. And I always tell them, like, hey, I'm going to give you all the drills, I'm going to give you all the mechanics and everything, but at the end of the day, it's just information, and you are your best hitting coach. There's no way I am. There's no way the guy you're paying $100 an hour is. Okay. It is, you are your best own hitting coach because you feel what you feel. I can't feel what you feel. So, but
Mm.
so it's like in life, you get all this information and you learn all these things, but at the end of the day, it's your decisions and how you decide to treat people, how you decide to act in life.
That's so
Again,
huge.
bringing the
Yeah.
spiritual down into the right, just like you're your main,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you being, bigger than you too. So like it's like
Yeah.
you're coming to within to get that help that you is.
Without a doubt. We were talking to a player yesterday, actually. One of my assistant coaches was talking to him about the power of prayer. And I don't want
Mm.
to go down the path of religion right now or anything like that, but the power of prayer um is something, is a foundation of mine. And I didn't know how to pray early in my career. Like I would pray, please let us win this game. Please let you'd get a strikeout here. I would do things like that. But then I was like, what am I doing? Like, is the other coach on the other side praying for the same thing? Which one is God
Right.
going to
Prayer is
pick
Who are we
here?
going to give it to?
Right, right. I went to
Yeah.
church on Sunday. He didn't,
Exactly. Who's
but
better this week?
no. But it comes down to is how you pray and what and so anytime I go on a long drive, I always say a little prayer before I leave the driveway. God, please watch over me on this drive. Watch over everybody around me as well. And
Mm.
keep everybody safe. In baseball, I always pray in the beginning of the game. Keep everybody safe in this game, safe from injury.
Mm.
Please make this as competitive as possible, and watch over these young men and keep blessing them. And so we were
Mm.
talking to him about the power of prayer, and he's like, uh, he was talking about his on deck mentality. What do you think about before you go to the batter's box? And so anyhow, we were taking it to the next level of prayer for him, and he says it's completely freeing him up, and he feels confident, but we made sure he understands, you're not praying for a hit. You're praying for the ability to clear your mind and
Mm.
give your best effort and put yourself in a situation to succeed. Yeah.
And that feels so much more loving and like less pressure too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you probably will happen more often with that type of a prayer anyway, because
Absolutely. Yeah. It's
you
got to
can
be
just
consistent.
relax and let go. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
huge. Well, this has been so great. And I, love everything that you've shared, and especially around just show up. And I feel like that's such a great lesson and reminder for everyone, no matter what walk of life or stage of life. And even just throughout the day, like just show up. Like maybe I'm, not having a great call with, I don't know, AT&T. And it's like, just
Yeah.
show, right? Just
Yeah.
show up. Like, who do you want to be in this moment? Like, what a great reminder.
That's a great way to put it. Who do you want to be in that moment? Absolutely. Yeah.
Uh, well,
Wonderful.
thank you so much for coming on. And how can people connect with you? You're not like the same as a typical guest that's running a business, and but I'm sure people still want to connect.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have an Instagram. I don't really do Instagram that much. I just look at the pictures and stuff. So, but Twitter is the best one. I have a Twitter
Oh, okay.
at
Right.
Tony Schifano.
Okay,
Um,
awesome.
I think the little icon pictures of Cal State Fullerton
Oh,
thing.
cool.
And then,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, email. Yeah, I mean, whatever you want to put out there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Anybody?
we'll put Twitter in the show notes for sure.
Okay.
That's
Fantastic.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. And we love this conversation.
Thank you for having me. It's great to see you guys.
You too. And go Jays.
Ooh.
You're like, ooh.
I will say though, the hitting coach for the Blue Jays is my former player at UC Davis.
Oh my gosh.
So we were texting last
Aw.
night. Yeah, his name is David Popkins.
Ah.
He's a phenomenal young man. And yeah, he's their hitting coach. And
Oh, amazing.
they credit a lot of
Amazing.
their success this year to him.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, I'll
Yeah.
have to look him up for
Look him
sure.
up. Yeah, for
Ah,
sure. Chris,
amazing.
he's from San Diego.
Oh,
He went to
amazing.
St. Augustine
Oh,
High School.
okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, wow. That's really
Yeah.
cool. I love all the connections. And
Yeah.
Amy's in San Diego now too.
Oh,
So
nice.
And
that
from
is- yeah.
Toronto.
Yeah. Love
All
that.
right. Well,
All
thank you.
right. Okay.
Been a
Well,
pleasure,
thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
Pleasure to meet you, Amy, and thank
Yeah.
you, Chris. Say hi to the family.
I will. Thank you.
Okay.
And
Bye.
until next time, everyone. Bye.
Next time.
Bye.
Please click and subscribe if you enjoyed this episode. And if you would like to learn more about readings and coaching with Chris and Amy, please visit chrisatley.com. Until next time.